player. And then it's funny, too, because he roams with Morgana, which he's a very low mobility champion. But here we are, into the picks and bans.
Ban phase it is. Victor's going to be the first one taken off the board. Rise, nobody wants to deal with that. TNT's Kalista is stricken from the map as well. Interestingly enough, not a lot of pressure being put towards the jungler. QG do have last ban, so I'm curious if they're going to leave that Nidalee up for Spirit to see if he can hyper carry.
Likewise, Fizz has been perma-banned pretty much all night. Flandre's premonition coming through, saying that Fizz is must-played or must-banned post 5.9. We'll see if that's the case here. Yep.
Yeah, there's the ban. He's 3-0 so far for bans. So we'll see if that trend continues throughout the night as Fizz is taken off the board.
Again, we are on 5.10, so Echo is live. Likewise, the Ashe changes have gone through, Olaf changes have gone through, and Rise changes have gone through. So no surprise to see Rise in the ban column there.
So that's why that Rise is taken off. He is so strong. We talked a little bit about it earlier. You can see Aluka conversating with the team coach right there to try to figure out what the best ban would be in this scenario to deal with Qiao Gu's incredible aggression. And it is going to be Alistar for TCT.
Banning Alistar from the blue side, so it makes me curious what their priority pick is from blue side, because obviously you get first pick, and typically you would pick Alistar just because he's a very powerful support, but it tells me that they're prioritizing something else, and my guess is Spirit's champion pool.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye. Nidalee's still on the board. Qiao Gu taking their time with that last one.
Qiao Gu means Reaper.
Yes, I thought it was the Reapers.
And it's not like nice Reaper, it's like Reaper, like bone marrow murder.
There's another champion we didn't talk about, Echo.
5.10.
He didn't reap too much the last time we saw him.
Nidalee's open.
Nidalee is open.
I don't know if he's going to go that direction just because, again, the rise of the Cinderhulk junglers. Big priority pick, likewise, is also Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai was most recently nerfed in the 5.10 patch, as was Gragas, the distance on his belly bop.
Yeah, his total collision radius has gone down. Looks like WE want to put Spirit on that Gragas once again, as they do have a more team-oriented composition prepared for Qiao Gu, and I certainly hope they're prepared, because Qiao Gu is the team that typically has shredded smaller teams.
Yep. The thing, again, that I want to point out is we predicted that, you know, by banning Alistar, the priority pick was going to go to the jungle Spirit as opposed to that big support pickup. Confirmed. Spirit taking the Gragas. Hasn't been as successful in Gragas as he has some of the other champions like Rek'Sai. See if he maybe finds more success here. But this is a tried and true duo that's right now being covered by Qiao Gu, and it's Sivir Nautilus.
Yeah, Sivir Nautilus so strong in the LPL right now. An incredible pick rate for Sivir. Very positive win rate. And with that, Sivir Nautilus locked in. Qiao Gu have got their duo lane secured.
And likewise, this is TNT's #1 play champion right now. He's had 7 games on Sivir, and he has a 71% win rate on her. Now,
awesome.
TCT, again, formerly known as Moore from LMQ, has a 100% win rate on Nautilus, though he's only played it once. But the hard engage and reach of Sivir Nautilus is just absurd when you have that on the hunt and depth charge.
Yeah, it looks like Team WE want to opt for a bit of disengage themselves, as Conan looks for the Janna, and Mystic says, you know what, guys? I feel like I've got some room on my back for you. Go ahead and hop on. I'll take Vayne.
Man, I see a champion that's really good at hard engaging, wave control, siege, pushing down towers. Better pick a duelist. Okay,
Yeah.
Vayne. Let's talk Vayne.
Let's talk.
She's starting to find an uprising. Obviously, people are like, why isn't Vayne being played? Cinderhulk is so powerful. She's able to melt through all those tanky champions. I'll tell you why Vayne hasn't been played. She is incredibly short range, and she offers so little to teams in terms of siege potential, wave control. I mean, effectively, you can duel, and you can shred tanks if you have a zone control composition. But Sivir's just going to do so much more for your team. Engage, disengage, wave control, siege potential. Has it all with like the utility there. If it's a true 1v1 between Sivir and Vayne, yeah, Vayne's going to win. But it's about empowering Mystic to put him in good situations where he can carry with that champion. And unfortunately, it really hasn't happened. I do love Janna and Vayne, though. It's one of my favorite 2v2s just because of how Janna's E compensates for the lack of early game flat damage in Vayne's build, because she goes for a Blade of the Rune King versus a BT. And obviously that E will give her bonus AD that compensates.
Does scale reasonably well, but WE are putting a lot on the shoulders of Mystic so far. We're looking at the final picks for WE already being hovered by Qiao. The last one should be for Aluka in the top, as Hecarim was taken. He goes for the other tried and true champion on Maokai, and there's some pretty solid peel and zone control for WE in order to keep Mystic alive.
Terrifying to see Swift pick up Rek'Sai right there.
Oh, yeah.
Again, Rek'Sai was nerfed to 5.10. Her base health
Went down?
Yep, 510 to
40, I believe?
It's 510 from 650, I believe.
It was 611, wasn't
You could be right.
it? Yeah. I always wonder how they picked those numbers because they seem so arbitrary.
They just write them on a piece of paper, drop them in a hat.
He's got 10 D100s that he rolls, and then they just take the sum.
I see what you did there. Qiao, though, on his Ahri, that's his signature champion. Aluka taking Maokai.
Yeah.
I actually like this.
Yeah, Qiao is going to be going up against Doinby's LeBlanc.
Doinby hasn't found a ton of success on Assassins. We'll see if maybe this time around works better for him, but again, he's more been a controlled mage style. Expect and watch for Doinby again to kind of shadow Swift and follow him around, and even though he is an assassin, act as a secondary support to Swift. Swift sets the pace for Xiaogu, and they follow up on everything that he does.
We'll have to keep an eye on QG's composition as they do have a very scary, aggressive, engaged composition. You've got LeBlanc, Rek'Sai, Hecarim for diving into the back line, and here we can see the lineups going through. WE are going to try to counter it with the late game hypercarry Vayne with some solid zone control and disengage, but it's going to be a pretty tricky matchup.
They do have the tools to empower Mystic. I said it before, Mystic has shown that he can hard carry, although it's about consistently being able to do that. And here's our matchup. We got Qiao and Doinby, Ahri versus LeBlanc, a true skill matchup.
Yeah, that should be very exciting. And in the bottom, Mystic versus TNT. And last up, you're going to have TCT and Conan on that Janna and Nautilus. Now, you mentioned some of the strength of Vayne and Janna. They're going up against Sivir and Nautilus, which is, as I understand, a pretty strong lane.
Nautilus makes every lane very strong.
Yeah.
Again, he gives you pick potential, hard engage potential, as well as wave control with his Riptide. He's absurdly tanky, does ridiculous amounts of damage, and he offers pretty much two forms of CC in his passive because he gives you the stutter when he hits you, as well as his dredge line.
Yeah, well, we're going to go ahead and see if that works out in-game as we're loading onto the Rift right now. And we're right back on. It's Team World Elite versus Xiaogu for game number 1 of their set. Looks like standard 5-point defense coming out of Team Xiaogu. And WE going for the 4-point defense themselves. No crazy invades, no lane swaps being set up so far.
Curious that we've seen so many 2v2s tonight when lane swaps were so popular, especially with a Vayne. Again, Vayne does do well in the duel against Sivir, especially with the Janna, because again, how the shield's going to interact with Vayne's itemization into that Bork. But the thing that I really want to talk about and that I really like from WE is the fact that Aluka's going back to tanks into the top lane. Again, I said previously he started picking up the Cinderhulk Fizz, it's all of the craze, trying his hand on that, but unfortunately Aluka's skill set just wasn't really matured for the 1v1, and where Spirit could normally put Aluka up on a Maokai or a Scion or a Hecarim and just kind of let him do his own thing, pick him up for the big 5v5s or for the teleport, he was now having to spend a lot more time to babysit Aluka to make sure that Fizz or that 1v1 duelist champion got going, and it kind of distracted from the rest of Spirit's flow on the map underneath.
Yeah, so Spirit, again, the primary carry for World Elite in the jungle. He didn't opt for the Nidalee this time, went for the first pick, Gragas.
Cut off all his purple hair.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on whether or not that's going to be successful.
The purple hair?
No,
Oh,
if
Spirit.
he's going to be able to do well on Spirit, on that Gragas. Because he first picked it. He priority picked it.
I'm like right into TNT right here,
I
like,
know.
what,
Well,
your hair?
We can continue talking about his hair.
No, it's fine.
Or we could talk about World Elite over here.
I really want a WE jersey. I think their summer jerseys are so fly. Everything's all like white and fresh, and because it gets really hot in China.
Crisp. Yeah. Looks sharp. Very snazzy.
Like, the camera
I
shoots
know.
back up. I'm like,
we're
oh,
all just looking at
his
the.
eyes.
We were checking out the jersey. It was pretty fly.
I was checking something out.
The logo?
Yep. Good save.
Yeah, so again, we're going to be getting into the game in just a minute once we work out this pause. Let's talk a little bit more about the win conditions for Xiaogu. We talked about how World Elite are going to be on Spirit. If World Elite are going to be able to either A, get Spirit ahead so that he can lead his team to victory, or B, if Mystic can make it to the late game and successfully carry for his team. But Xiaogu they've got a different plan.
They've got a hard engage composition as well as they have pick potential. And we are back in game, so your pick potential is coming primarily from your Rek'Sai as well as your LeBlanc is going to be the big proponent there. And again, we talked about how Doinb will follow Swift around, so that works perfectly. The potential of Tremor Sense versus LeBlanc Distortion and quickly, you know, peeking into Fog of War and finding people over walls if wards just aren't set up perfectly for WE can quickly delete members from the map. Hey, is that a lane swap?
Is a lane swap, but you know what's going to answer it?
Another lane swap?
Exactly. So another 2v2 in the top lane while the 1v1 happens in the bottom. Both of our top laners start off on the bottom side of the jungle. And that's always been something that I've wondered about. Do you continue to call them top laners when they're on the bottom?
I don't ask such in-depth questions.
Are you sure you want to know the answer?
What really is it doesn't change the title of where they are, but it does change the dynamic and how the teams play around Dragon. It is probably the most important piece, just because you don't have the majority of your members around such an important early game objective. So that's what's really paying attention to, especially if it doesn't turn into a 2v1, the fact that both 2v2s are on the top side of the map.
Yeah, and because of that, we can see some aggression happening as Spirit looks for some damage onto V. He's still level 1. The knockup is going to find him. He's got no escape summoners. They're going to dive him for this first blood picked up by Aluka.
And it's so easy to gank from Maokai early levels, picking up that twisted advance, able to lock him down because that nerf didn't slow down Spirit on Gragas, was able to belly bop in there, find the hard CC, and that's what we expect from WE. Win lane, win game on the back of Spirit.
Yeah, Spirit doing a great job with that super fast gank. I think he went red buff and then immediately went right into lane. He's going to spot that blue buff was secured by Xiaogu, and Xiaogu responded in kind by securing a second blue buff from themselves and invading the other side.
Trying to make the most of the fact that so many resources were committed bottom. They had information of where Spirit was on the map. See how Swift responds as he's actually... No, he's just picking up Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, he's just making sure he's got some food.
Protecting his top lane.
Scuttle Crab's so important. Spirit has a Scuttle Crab of his own, and he's actually going to be stealing away the Gromp here, so... It's kind of interesting to see where the priorities have been lying so far for these two teams. Xiaogu have shown that they've got a lot of presence on the top side. They're going to keep Swift up there. He doesn't want to try looking for any steals or invades away from Spirit on that blue side, blue side of the jungle for Xiaogu.
Vertical jungling. It's always it's the worst as a caster. You're like, how do I explain this? It's on the top side. And
top blue side, Xiaogu blue.
Square peg, circular hole, make it fit.
The trick was that you lift the top off, and then you put it in, and then you close the top back on.
Are we talking about the pegs again?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't have one of those as a child.
Well. Yeah, we'll definitely see how everything else is going to work out. A little bit of slowing down here as Swift continues to go for some invades. Looks like he was headed towards the top side of the map to try to find some pressure on Conan and Mystic, and he's looking for another gank here as he tries to come in from behind.
Looking for the return. The problem is that it's so hard. And it's weird, too, because normally I wouldn't say this about a Janna because she's on blue side, but it's really hard to gank Janna on blue side from the top part of the map. So the map is actually differently shaped. So on the top side, you have this really narrow corridor, which normally if you're on purple side, you get on the bottom side of the map. And if you think about angles and getting in and trying to gank on that Janna, her Monsoon and her Tornado, because she's in a choke point on the top side of the map by her tower, it covers so much more surface area. So it's very hard to stall out those ganks.
Right, here's another gank onto V. They are going to find some slow, and his rage is going to slow down. He's taking some more damage here. He should make it under the turret, but WE continue to look for the dive. Aluka body blocking as best he can. Spirit gets the kill and gets out. Oh, it's so close to the minion. The minion. Oh, he gets out alive.
Oh, wait, here comes Swift. Nope, got the cooldown.
Yeah, he's able to make it over the wall. Swift, I'm certain, will continue to look for the chase. Oh, no, he decides to play it safe and head for his turret instead.
I think that was the max range of the body slam. I think we saw the actual nerf. He brushed him with the tip of his belt.
Well, that's the trick. The belt is actually a giant magnet, so you just kind of pull them in. Hook misses from TCT.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah. So far, things look to be going pretty solid in the 2v2 lane as it's even between the two junglers, the two carries.
That is so difficult to outtrade.
Yeah.
The tumble from Vayne with an empowered Janna shield. There's very little options. That said, because she did burn her tumble forward, you can try to look for a Sivir Boomerang and try to make her eat both parts because she just won't have her tumble available on cooldown to dodge the back part of it. But you have to time it pretty perfectly, and it's very frustrating to deal with in lane.
Yeah, and take a look at where Spirit is once again.
Bottom lane.
Yes, he is spotted out by a ward, however, and he even sees Swift, so he knows that this gank isn't going to succeed. Doesn't even manage to steal the Scuttle Crab, so far he decides to drop a ward, head back into his own side of the jungle.
That's actually really important just because there's been so much pressure, back-to-back ganks on the bottom side, so Swift making sure he gets control of that bottom side river by taking that Scuttle Crab. Doesn't seem like much, but that is a very important grab.
Oh yeah, and with that vision, that does mean that V finally is going to be a little bit safer as he rushes towards those Merc Treads as fast as possible. TCT with the roam is setting up for a potential gank onto Qiao. Qiao very low on mana. Swift spotted out by Spirit, who's going to roll into lane just to protect his carry. Great map sets from World Elite.
Good job from Swift as well, you know, recognizing where Spirit is wanting to play the game and making sure that he's guarding for second rotation on these buffs and covering V's overextension.
This is a confident play. Swift looks for the red steal.
One word for it.
Yeah, it's spotted out by Spirit, but Spirit knows he can't contest. The recall from Qiao means that there's no chance he's going to make it in time, and he just decides to give it up for broke. Try to catch some CS in the mid.
And that's really good communication from Doinby and Swift. Obviously, they're the two Koreans on the team, so making sure, hey, Qiao's back, you can go ahead and invade because we have a numbers advantage.
And with that, things get back to the standard landing phase. Sivir demonstrating her pushing prowess as she gets under the turret. Mystic only takes half of the boomerang blade. And Mystic's actually doing some really solid damage here. TNT's got to be careful. The flash comes out. He even drops the ignite. TNT. Oh! Wait, did he hook a minion in melee range?
He traded flash for flash.
Yeah, Mystic did flash as well. He saw the animation and didn't want to chance it. And with that, it is flash for flash. However, TNT still rocking both of his summoner spells, so we could get a little bit more action. And instead, he decides to recall, as it seems like Qiao got some different objectives on their mind.
And I hyped up the fact that Vayne goes for the Blade of the Rune King and how John is going to compensate that for the shield. Actually going for the BT Rush. I believe we saw this on Imp when he played Vayne. Mixed up his build path as well, so now he just gets 2 free BF swords.
Yeah, that's some pretty serious damage on Vayne, and, well, it's not 2 free. It's 1 free BF sword, 1 bought paid for.
He's going to get the
buy 1, get 1 free.
And it's for the 8-second duration of his final hour. He also gets bonus AP.
Spirit could be caught out right here as he's taking some wicked damage. Doinby lands the snare. Spirit doesn't make it over the wall. He goes down. Qiao get their first kill.
That CC lock. Spirit should have known better, however. He saw... ooh, hold on.
Oh, and the chain lands from Doinby.
Doesn't connect, though.
Yeah, Qiao gets out.
He saw that... I always want to say more. TCT had gone back to buy, and typically after the first back for your supports, that's when they pick up their wards, they pick up their sight stones, and they usually head to get some deep vision or control of the river. So Spirit knew that there was a high probability that someone would be there. Got the CC lock and falls, but now in the mid lane.
Qiao does burn the Spirit Rush. He uses 1 charge. The second one gets him closer to the turret. He doesn't have his flash. Oh, he does, but he still goes down. Doinby with a quick kill.
Wow. Just straight up outplay.
Yeah, really solid play out of Swift. That's going to answer the 2 kills of WE to 2 kills of their own. Now we're 10 minutes into the game, and Qiao are feeling pretty confident. They've got a pretty moderate CS lead on the Swift. They've got what I presume to be is a pretty CS lead on Doinby as he continues to push forward now with a Morellonomicon finish. And V has finally made it out of that very scary early laning phase against DeLuca.
Threatening with his scythe. Get off my lawn.
Yeah.
Trees.
He's just trying to cut the weeds.
I see.
That are growing in that bottom lane.
Swift now setting up for a gank at the top lane. The thing that I wanted to point out, though, is, again, Doinby sticking true to his high kill participation, has 100% kill participation along with Swift.
Yep. Piggybacking off of that to get the 2 kills for Qiao so far. Spirit looking for a gank in the mid lane. The only thing he's going to find is some punishment and a ward. And he doesn't even get the ward.
He knows it's there, though.
Yeah. So he's not going to do it again.
And that said, Swift has information now that Spirit's across map. Doesn't decide to commit to the gank top, however.
You know what would be the funniest thing? If you carried another pink ward and
this
then
better be really funny.
When they see it, you put down a regular ward in the bush, then you put your new pink ward somewhere else so they can't find it.
Just to take it away from them so they can't clear it?
So they don't even get the gold for it.
Rude.
Exactly, but you still have vision because you drop a ward there too. Yeah, because here comes Spirit right now, and he's not going over the wall. He knows there's vision. Oh man, I really want to see another pink ward go down just to be like, no, you don't even get the gold for that. More harass comes across onto Qiao. Spirit Rush is available. He has neither flash nor exhaust, so he's got to play it nice and safe. Man, Doinby is so fast on that LeBlanc.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just so hard to gank a LeBlanc just because on the mid lane, you are on the shortest lane. That double distortion means so much for covering distance. And unfortunately for Qiao, yes, she has kill already has kill pressure on pretty much any champion, but it's always going to be a skill-based matchup, and it's always going to be, can you hit that charm? Can you land your skill shots?
Dive onto the bottom to find a Luca. He's making it under the turret. Swift and V decide they don't want any of the action, but a death push set up in the top lane as TNT and TCT wait for any sort of overextension from Mystic. Here comes the ward, but Conan gets caught out by the hook. Monsoon forces the disengage. Death charge is going to find it. Mystic in the back line. He's trying to go for the 1v1 out duel. Does he have enough damage? TNT flashes. He decides he doesn't want any piece of that, but V has joined the battle. He doesn't have Onslaught of Shadows, so now it's a 2 versus 3. It's going to become a 3 versus 3 as a Luca now teleporting in. He is going to zone away the rest of Xiaogu, and the gank yields nothing. Oh man, even Swift getting up into the action.
So much expended, no one goes down, everyone flashing away. Big thing, oh, hold on,
Yes,
Doinby.
Damage from Swift, yeah, Doinby gets out.
He's fine to walk across because he doesn't really have a lot of mana. He'll probably pick up a camp and then rotate home, although Qiao going hard.
Yeah, some serious damage from Doinby onto Qiao. Qiao is super low health, and again, he only has Ignite, doesn't have his flash yet, so he's still got to be super careful for any sort of follow-up from Doinby.
He does have Spirit Rush, Fire Rush.
Spirit Rush.
Yeah, that one. The hoppy one. I have really bizarre names for a lot of champion abilities.
Because what you do is you dash, and mid-dash you burn Zonias.
Like Urgot's Swippy Swappy.
His Swippy Swappy, yes, exactly.
The murder button from Sivir. Which was burned in the top lane. She doesn't have her ultimate available. Yep. And that was kind of like the big thing that I think went down, is that a lot of key ultimates went down. Final hour will be back up right before the On the Hunt, but
it's a small window of opportunity. You can see Mystic getting some really great damage onto TNT.
Good spell
nice
shield,
spell shield, as he knows Mystic wants to continue looking for harass. Now, with both of the duo laners on the bottom, Dragon is a very real possibility.
And that's pretty much what both teams are posturing for right now. Again, we talked about how the fact that it was technically a lane swap, although it ended up being a 2v2, changed how the teams would play around the Dragon Pit and really stall that one out. Average time in LPL for Dragon is around 11 minutes, so we're just past that with 14 minutes. But expect this to be the next big kind of focal point and point of contention, which is why we see both junglers sitting in the wings, and even Doinby. Hey, remember how he roams down?
Swift comes down. Mystic throws down the final hour. Swift is on Conan in the back line, but he's got no one to follow it up as Mystic gets some good damage onto TCT. Is he going to get the kill? No. Doinby has joined the fight. He's condemned away, but still lands the chain. Doinby now has got not that much to worry about, as there's not a lot of damage down here for WE. They pick up another 2 kills, ending Spirit and Conan. Qiao is down there, but he doesn't want any piece of the action.
And again, they set up for Dragon, and Xiaogu pull the trigger so much harder, make sure that Doinby gets the appropriate roam, and this is what we were talking about. Doinby, the secondary support for Swift, follows him around, 100% kill participation right now, 3-0-2 on this LeBlanc. Played the control mages, is starting to go off on the assassins.
Yeah, neither of the top laners had teleport either, so at best that could have been a 4v4, but the faster roam from Doinby yields the results, and with that, Xiaogu take their first dragon and start to increase their gold lead. Oh man, Qiao misses the charm. Doinby even has flash and then blinks back in just to add insult to injury. So Doinby feeling pretty solid about this game.
I feel like when you're fighting someone, you know how it's like really disrespectful if you just poke them in the forehead.
Yeah.
Like you're in a boxing match. That was effectively what Doinby just did to Qiao.
That's pretty much what he did, yeah.
Nice charm, bro.
Yeah, not very charming, that one.
I'm surprised I don't call the distortion Swippy Swappy.
Oh yeah, because she does jump back.
Yeah.
Or what about her clone? Would you call that one the Swippy Swappy?
I can't say what I call that on air.
Or the Mimicky.
That's not how that works. you see a pattern, but it's not the right one. There we go, tower falls.
Yeah, that's going to be the first one. WE managed to take the first tower
with
of the
Vayne.
Game. Yeah.
Big thing about this, though, is because typically Vayne doesn't have very good siege potential, is that you have double BF sword again. The fact that Vayne prioritized the BT rush versus the Blade of the Rune King rush, despite the fact that Bork did get buffed in last patch, and also has that Janna shield available.
Yeah, and with that, that's the first turret gone down. Mystic with the recall. Does have enough for a Bloodthirster. TNT, not quite there just yet. He's looking for an IE instead, and It's been interesting to see that Mystic is going for that Bloodthirster. Walk me through how this is going to work into his team fights.
It's because there's a LeBlanc in the game. It's pretty much primarily why it's there. The Bloodthirster is going to be more of a it's weird to call it a defensive item because it's giving you the shield, though. It helps protect against the LeBlanc burst. It's the exact same reason why Imp went BT on Vayne first.
Ooh, the charm lands, but Doinby does so much damage.
And that's why you need a Bloodthirster.
Yes, Ari
Get on it,
Bloodthirster.
Qiao.
He's working towards it as best he can, but right now he's only got a null magic mantle to try to deal with that Doinby damage, and that's with a needlessly large rod and a blasting wand. He hasn't even finished his Rabadon's death hat.
A lot of pings. Doinby knows exactly where they are. Swift coming for the pinch.
Ooh, you just saw the nerf for Gragas's range right there. Wasn't even able to make it to the minions, and Spirit, gets caught in a charm. The auto attack yields Doinby another kill, and look at the duo who gets it.
It's almost like we set this up before the game. We knew Doinby and Swift would work together.
Yeah, Doinby and Swift really rocking out this game. 4-0-2 on that LeBlanc. The Siege should be taking the first turret. A great knockup finds Qiao, and I don't care if you're stealth, you're still going to die to that combo.
And with that flash bounce house, that's going to be a tower, possibly 2, because all of Xiaogu is here to help.
Yeah, 5 members to get onto this turret. It's shielded by Janna, but Doinby in the back line zones Conan away. They should be able to take it down. Aluka doing the best he can to zone it. They need to finish off the turret. QG are going to continue fighting under it. They're out of minions. Finally, it falls. It's secured by TNT. Now they dive onto Aluka, turning it into a proper fight. They get another kill and decide to back off.
Man, W sure wishes that they had some wave clear and not a Vayne.
Yeah, things
I'll
not
take the
working out
pot
that
shots
great.
where I can get them.
Yeah, Doinby does get condemned against the wall. Some great damage from Spirit. Doinby doesn't have the distortion. He doesn't have flash. He's got nothing to save him, but he jumps back. He gets a kill onto Conan, but goes down in revenge.
Beautifully trade. Blinks back, has the ignite, lights up Janna, trades 1 for 1. More importantly, denies the shutdown gold to Spirit.
Yeah. Without that shutdown gold, that Spirit now only level 10. You can see he's got that Juggernaut burning as best it can, but it's just not quite doing so much. WE taking the best of this situation without Doinby there to clear the wave. TNT low on mana. They shove down. They should be able to take this tier 1, and yeah, they managed to break it.
Good rotation from WE. That was pretty much the only available play that they had for them on the map because Dragon was down, and again, Xiaogu stayed too long trying to siege up that second tier tower, so WE, they do find kind of a foot back in this.
They certainly do. Now we're 19 minutes into the game. Xiaogu, after taking a nice and slow early game, have turned up the heat, snowballing Doinby and Swift further and further ahead to victory. But the question is, will it be enough? They've got to deal with a late game hyper-scaling Vayne. They've got to deal with Qiao's Ari, who so far isn't doing that fantastic, but from what I hear later on, she does some pretty solid damage.
And unfortunately, this is kind of what we set up in the beginning of this game. These teams are very similar in that it's very jungle-centric, although I will say that this is a bit of an evolution for Xiaogu, and that as opposed to Doinby supporting Swift, even though they're still working alongside each other, still involved with each other at all points, it's more of Swift supporting Doinby now that he's on this assassin as opposed to a controlled mage. Forces out the ultimate for Qiao there. But again, it's Spirit is a strong jungler, Swift is a strong jungler. The difference in standings is because Swift has so many more power lanes and power players to work with versus Spirit.
Yeah, and it's really showing. Xiaogu are coming up really solid all across the lanes. 2-0-3 on TNT, 6-1-3 on Doinby. Really the only place where it's been falling behind has been on V in the top lane, but that's really more a result of his build rather than his playstyle.
Here we go, though. Swift setting the pace of the game, looking for Mystic, but great sense to swiggity-swooty back up that booty.
To get safe under the turret, yeah. They are going to back away and let the wave shove forward. TNT clearing out a ward here as he tries to get that wave further in. And, I think they should be able to take down this turret. TNT takes some damage here. Yeah, the cannon minion wave has now arrived. A 522 damage crit 20 minutes into the game. If TNT finds the carry, he's going to do some work.
It's going to explode. Really important to note that since they do have the 2 towers down in the mid lane, obviously that creep wave can get further down there, so there's more of a pressure point created in mid, which just frees up Doinby to roam even more than he's already doing because he doesn't have to worry about that building wave in the mid lane.
QG are taking the initiative with this siege, looking now for the bot lane tier 2. But more importantly, the dragon has now spawned. Aluka is on that side of the map, so that means that V can continue split pushing a bit, get that wave to bounce off the turret. And Aluka would have to burn his teleport to try to catch that wave, but dragon's up. Aluka's looking for a pick. He's looking for something to make this wasted time worth it. Doinby just looking for some harass. Man, that's some solid damage.
I feel like, okay, he's taking the blue buff. I was like, V is either hiding himself off the map even though he's standing on a ward, or he's taking a buff. He took the buff.
Yeah.
But I think what I was trying to guess is he hiding because he's looking for a teleport? Nope, he's going to go ahead and pressure the tower, so force Aluka to respond.
Yeah, he is getting some solid damage down. The 4-1 split coming out of Qiao to put WE on the back foot is working very well, as they're slowly chunking health away from that turret. Auto attack after auto attack. Swift looking for the flank, but not able to find it just yet, as Doinby cannot quite assassinate anyone.
It's very important that Swift doesn't have his flash available. It will be up in a second. We'll see if he pulls the trigger on that flank when he has it. It's so key to Rek'Sai's CC just to be able to tunnel in and then flash to the back line. But looks like they're actually going to go ahead and commit to the Dragon since Hecarim got the free tower top.
Yeah, the free tower is secured. V with the early Trinity Force pays it off and starts building defensive. Dragon is backed up upon Spirit. Is he going to go over the wall? Nope. Doesn't even have enough time to drop a ward. He just lets that go down while Doinby destroys Mystic before he can even burn heal.
You know who's really good against LeBlanc and canceling out majority of her damage as an AD carry?
Do it. Take the pot shot. Join the dark side.
I don't understand the Vayne thing. Maybe one day. It's fun to watch. I feel like AD carries, they just love it. It's so much fun. It's very empowering. Even Uzi, who's probably like the epitome of Vayne players, has an abysmal win percentage on Vayne. I think it's like 43%, and he plays her a lot.
Could it be a response to the new tank, the whole Cinderhulk meta?
That's what the theory is obviously she's able to shred through that Cinderhulk, so these big tanky front lines don't mean as much. She's got high mobility. She does really well, again, in the 1v1 against Sivir, but doesn't matter when Sivir can just rotate your team around a map and use a spell shield to cancel out a bunch of LeBlanc burst. And
yeah. It's not looking so hot for WE right now. They're down 7 kills. It's 23.5 minutes into the first game, and while the early game was fairly even-paced, and we even saw some great ganks from Spirit to get Aluka a few kills, it just hasn't transitioned into anything too well. And despite V being down 2 kills, he's now up in CS. He's presumably up in gold as he's completed a Trinity Force and has more defensive items built out for himself. So QG are hitting their item spikes sooner, their power spikes sooner, and they're hitting them a lot harder.
And this is really important because, again, to WE's credit, they do have late game potential. So Qiao doing a good job fighting with their strong, although Swift forced to burn the flash there. Mystic, make me a believer of Vayne. Stall this game out for 10 more minutes and carry the game.
Yeah, he's certainly trying, as he does have that BT for a lot of damage, building now the Phantom Dancer component of what I assume is eventually going to become the Blade of the Ruin Phantom Dancer. Just the damage on the Mystic is monstrous, and that was with a full shield from John.
And likewise, PD is going to give you more damage on Vayne, although it can kind of be a little bit questionable just because she's going to get more static shift. Hold on.
Push that up. They find TCT. He goes low, immediately flashes out of there. The hook pulls him further away.
Oh!
The explosive cast gets the kill.
Excellent job from downtown.
Yeah.
Really nice pick setup, but what I was talking about is the Phantom Dancer versus the Static Shiv, because Vayne is very mobile, that she can rotate through a lot of Static Shiv procs naturally. Doinby getting a little crazy right there.
Yeah, the style chain just for funsies.
But the primary thing is because he rushed the BT, you know, needing that crit and taking it in the form of Phantom Dancer versus the Static Shiv, because obviously you get more crit from the Phantom Dancer, as well as the ability to move through minions, so.
Generally a nice thing, from what I understand. But now we're 25 minutes into the game. WE have secured their first kill in, what is that, 15 minutes?
It's okay, it went on Spirit.
It did, who is very important as
100% kill participation.
Tank. Yes, he is. 4 out of 4.
Has the highest kill participation of any of the junglers, and Swift has the highest gold percentage of any of the junglers. So team gold, no other jungler gets more of team gold than Swift.
Interesting how that works out. Of all of the junglers
of all of the junglers in the LPL, Swift gets the most, or the highest percentage of team gold donated to him.
You know who works well with Swift?
Doinby.
Yeah. Who, interestingly enough, has the highest kill percentage. Oh, teleport coming in. Looks like this could be a fight as they find Aluka. V's running the wrong way. Instead, he's trying to find Mystic. There goes the knock-up. Immediately dives onto him. Flash from the wall puts Mystic on the safe side of things. But Doinby flashes for the instant distortion, destroys him. Coden goes down immediately. Qiao forced to burn all 3 charges of Spirit Rush in a straight line away from the enemy team. And even flashes under his inhibitor turret as Xiaogu can't be stopped.
Doinby is a monster right now. Again, competitively, he showed mostly controlled mages. He can play the assassin, pulls out the LeBlanc this game and says, watch this.
Yeah. Hold on to your underpants and watch this. As he takes now the blue buff, Baron is being started by Xiaogu, and he's even going to look to zone people away. If anyone squishy decides to try checking out
You mean
that
anyone?
thing, well, yeah.
He's 8-1-4. Anyone walks over there.
Yes. They will go down. Baron is picked up by Xiaogu. They have got complete momentum in this game as they did find that pick onto Aluka. And the defensive lines for WE have now fallen behind the Tier 2 towards their inhibitor turret. They've got one Tier 2 turret left standing on the bottom side of the map. And you know what's going to spawn in about a minute on that bottom side of the map?
Dragon.
Yeah, almost like, seems like Xiaogu has got a red carpet laid out for him.
I will say this, though. Again, Xiaogu coming from the LSPL, I like to call them kind of the baby teams, although they've had a fantastic performance in the LPL so far. And again, we're almost through kind of the middle point where they've rotated through a majority of the teams. Not quite there, but on the cusp. Is that the late game macro shot calling tends to fall a little bit or falter a bit in teams like Xiaogu, like Unlimited Potential, because they just don't have the experience in late game decision making that a lot of the other veteran LPL teams do, like WE. They're a huge, long-standing organization, so I'm hope is alive.
Yeah. Well, we do have an opportunity to see that late game shot calling come into fruition here. If WE are able to hold the siege and keep their turrets alive, in fact, keep their inhibitors alive, it's a perfect team composition to get them into the late game, but the rotation from TNT is going to find an undefended mid inhibitor turret. Swift and TCT join him. They get some solid damage onto it, but Smite is burned by Spirit to keep it alive. V splitting in the bottom is going to take down that last Tier 2, and the split begins now for Xiaogu to take those inhibitors.
Pings are going up into the top lane, though. We'll see if Xiaogu consolidate their resources mid lane, or if maybe they look for another split pressure. Looks like they're just going to push this one down.
Yeah, that's going to be the first one. Xie goes low. Oh, forced to burn the Spirit Rush to break the chain. Tether, great explosive class to force the disengage, but Mystic is the immediate follow-up target. They're not going to let that Vayne do any damage. It's 3 kills now for TNT as he's picking up some serious work. Aluka in the front line, but TNT is kiting around the side. Doinby brings Mystic low. TNT looking for the Quadra. He gets it. He's looking now onto Aluka, who's going to make it into the fountain. No pentakill for you, TNT. And just like that, Xiaogu might be looking to end the game. TCT doesn't even care that the Nexus turrets are hitting onto him, as Xiaogu look to take the win.
And again, just a massive snowball coming out of Xiaogu. The front tank line for WE just cannot hold up against this Sivir, and more importantly, this LeBlanc, as Doinby comes up huge. And there's the smile on his face. Well deserved. I would be shocked if he didn't get MVP.
Yeah, he is so happy after this one. An exceptional performance on that LeBlanc off the back of some assistance from Spirit. Really, really solid play all across, and I'm just really impressed with Xiaogu. Their early game, it looked like, you know, we were going to take it slow, take it calm, take it even, but they blew that game wide open.
The question will always be, how will